In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the QoA, or Queen of Audio, Vesper 2, one dynamic driver and one Knowles BA driver, IEM. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. So yeah, the Vesper is a dual driver with one dynamic and one Knowles balanced armature. There is the box, pretty ordinary. On the back, they give you a peek of the frequency response, although it's a bit hard to see. I'll throw up my own shortly. And inside, you get this pretty nice little case, and you get 6 pairs of silicone ear tips, which is good. And let's just bring the IEMs right in. There they are. So the price here for the Vesper 2 is $79, which is in that entry level range, that busy sub $100 area. And the shells are there. We'll get to those in a sec. The cable is silver plated copper, really nice. All metal components, including the chin slider. And yeah, I can't really complain about anything regarding this cable. It does have those preformed ear hooks, but they're not too aggressive, and they don't have those stupid angled connector housings. So cable works great. It's among the better kind of cables that you get in this price range, so good head start there. And now on to the shells, and hello. I know what you're thinking, and yes, they are very pretty, kind of similar in shape and form to the, the Kiwi Ears cadenza. Strangely enough, there's some similarities in the sound as well, but we'll get to that later. The shells are fabulous, they're beautiful, they're very comfortable, they have great passive noise isolation, and yeah, pretty impressive. Whoopsie, pretty impressive for this price range. Let's get into the sound. I'm going to throw up the graph now. So the Vesper 2 delivers a smooth, balanced, and polite sound signature, and this tuning caters to various music genres, offering a safe and versatile listening. So it's a pretty laid-back kind of sound. It prioritizes tone over precision, so it's what we call a musical IEM. It's kind of laid-back sound profile that's well suited for extended casual listening sessions. The bass response of the Vesper 2 has a subtle elevation above neutral, exhibiting a seamless transition from the sub-bass to the mid-bass. And what I mean there is that the transition from the sub-bass to the mid-bass is fairly linear. So unlike a lot of conventional tunings that we see nowadays that have a boosted sub-bass shelf, or neutral with a sub-bass boost, this one has like fairly even levels of sub-bass and mid-bass. I think it sounds more natural. It does add a bit of coloration into the lower mid-range, and it might not sound quite as spacious as some of those Harman tuning IEMs, but it does sound quite natural and organic. And the bass on the Vesper 2 it's pretty good. It's got a nice amount of impact and a nice fullness to it without being fat or bloated. It does carry over into the mid-range a little bit, but it's not destructive. It doesn't smear or muddy the mid-range, although some micro details might get covered a little bit. But overall, it's a nice, satisfying bass, and it can produce some nice sub-bass rumble as well. So what sets the bass apart here is its palpable physicality. It's capable of moving air, and you feel that in your ears, and it strikes a nice balance between impact and restraint, kind of like a gymnast who's both very strong and nimble at the same time. And the result is a bass that's nice and satisfying, but at the same time also very controlled. And then on to the mid-range, and I'd say the Vesper 2's mid-range is nice and warm, yet it maintains a captivating amount of clarity. Thanks to that supportive bass foundation, vocals and instruments have a nice sense of fullness and substance, which enriches their timbre with sort of palpable body. So it doesn't sound lean or anemic in any way. male vocals have got a bit of power to them, a bit of robustness there. And while it might not cater to those seeking absolute transparency, it will undoubtedly find favor with people sort of yearning for a more engaging and a musical presentation. So the upper mids resonate with a nice sonorous quality, but they avoid any shrillness or excessiveness. So there's no upper mid-range shoutiness. And despite the warmth in the mid-range, it doesn't compromise on detail. And furthermore, it's fairly spacious in the mid-range, which allows each note and instrument sort of some breathing room, if you will. So the treble is, I'd say it continues with that nice balanced ethos. It aligns harmoniously with the bass and mid-range. So although it's a dual driver hybrid IEM, it's got good cohesiveness across the board. It's got pretty good high-end extension and pretty good detail retrieval as well, while maintaining a very smooth and sort of velvety texture. If you're sort of looking for a really incisive or extremely etched treble, you might want to look at some alternatives. But if you're looking for something that is very smooth and kind of laid back, but at the same time energetic and vibrant, then this is a nice treble for you. And despite its somewhat gentle demeanor, the Vesper 2 is good at detail retrieval, although some, micro details might get masked over or might get missed, so to speak. But for sure, there is not any sibilance or sharpness in the treble. It's engaging, yet it's got enough sort of luminosity or enough brightness to it to avoid any sense of dullness or excessive darkness to it. And overall, I think the treble tuning is pretty sweet here. And then in terms of the sound stage, it's wider than I expected for such a sort of a warm tonal character. And the depth is decent. It's not quite as deep as it is wide, but it's deep enough to sound still fairly natural and give you some kind of sense of layering. And I would say the instrument separation is about average for something in this price range, but what truly shines here is the impressive resolution and imaging capabilities of the Vesper 2. So you get a nice sense of spatial dimensionality, so you get pretty good positioning within the stage. So these are pretty good for gaming as well as music. You get a good idea of where each individual vocal or instrument is within the soundstage. Okay, and we're going to do a little comparison now. Only one. I know you want more, but, just deal with it. It is what it is. This is the Truth Ear Hexa, and it comes in, I think the price is $79, so it's roughly in the same price range as the Vesper 2. So the Hexa here is a quad driver. It's got one dynamic driver and 3 balanced armatures compared to the 1 dynamic and 1 balanced armature in the Vesper 2. Now they do share some characteristics, like both of them are fairly balanced in terms of sound signature, but the end result that they have is quite different. So the Hexa places greater emphasis on the sub-bass, surprise, surprise, and it dials down the fullness in the upper bass and its lower mid-range. However, I think it still sounds pretty natural, but the Vesper 2 has a little bit more body and fullness. It's very organic in the lower mids. So if you're into male vocals, the Vesper 2 is probably slightly more satisfying in regards to that. But I'd say the Hexa has a tauter or a tighter bass response, and at the same time a leaner lower mid-range. In addition, Hexa has a slight lift in the upper mids and treble, like they both do, but the Hexa is got a little extra lift, if you will, which results in a brighter overall sound signature. And this makes it a fitting choice for if you're seeking a closer approach to neutrality. I think the Hexa has less overall coloration than the Vesper, but the Vesper is a smoother IEM. So if you are averse to brightness like shouty upper mid-range, or if you are sensitive to treble brightness, then the Vesper 2 is probably going to be the safer option for you. So in a nutshell, the Vesper 2 has a touch of warmth and sort of lustrous highs, making it nice and velvety, whereas the Hexa is closer to neutral, a little bit brighter and a little bit leaner in the bass and lower mid-range. Both are excellent IEMs for the money, and well, you might even love both regardless of what your preferences are, because they are both really good. That is the QoA, or Queen of Audio, Vesper 2. It is a very nice IEM. If you're looking for something that is a little bit warmer, with a little bit more character and musicality, this is a really good choice. In the price range, it comes with a fantastic cable, plenty of ear tips. I think overall it's pretty good value for money, and hopefully I'll get to test some more products from this brand before, because this is the first one from memory. I think it's the first one I've tried of theirs. And anyway, let's wrap it up there. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, Parfam audiophile style. And if you're new here and you want to see more content like this in the future, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you later.